Welcome to a special journey where history unfolds in the most soothing way, a story I like to call Christian history for sleep. Tonight, picture yourself standing within the ancient walls of a medieval castle, where the air carries the scent of old stone and the faint glow of torchlight dances on the walls, casting shadows that seem to whisper tales of the past. Before you lies a legend, the Holy Grail, a sacred cup believed to have been used by Jesus at the Last Supper, a relic that has sparked quests, inspired legends, and stirred debates for over 1,000 years. What is the Holy Grail, really? Is it the chalice that held Christ's wine, a vessel that caught his blood at the crucifixion, or perhaps a symbol of something even greater? This mystery has woven its way through history, from the dusty streets of Jerusalem to the courts of Camelot, and even into modern tales that captivate the imagination. Tonight, we'll explore its secrets, tracing its journey through time, uncovering hidden truths, and reflecting on its meaning, all in a gentle, calming story that will ease you into a peaceful night's rest. Settle in, let the day's worries fade, and allow this ancient tale to unfold. We'll begin in the earliest days of Christianity, when a simple cup held the promise of eternal life, and from there, its legend grew, becoming a beacon for knights, monks, and dreamers across the centuries. As the night deepens, let the story of the Holy Grail guide you into a tranquil state, where history and peace intertwine, leading you into the calm embrace of sleep. Let's begin our journey in the ancient city of Jerusalem, a place where history whispers through every stone. Imagine standing on a sun-warmed hillside just outside the city walls, where the air carries the scent of olive trees and the distant hum of life drifts from the streets below. It's the 1st century, and Jerusalem is a vibrant city, its marketplace bustling with merchants selling spices, their voices mingling with the clatter of donkey hooves and the laughter of children carrying baskets of dates and figs. The golden walls of the city reflect the sunlight, while the temple stands tall, its marble pillars a sacred space where the faithful gather, their prayers rising like a soft chant, echoing across the hills. But beneath the city's lively rhythm, there's a quiet tension. Jerusalem is under Roman rule, and soldiers in polished armor patrol the streets, their crimson cloaks standing out against the earth-toned robes of the people. It's the eve of Passover, a time of celebration, but also of unrest. In a modest upper room, tucked away in a quiet corner of the city, a man named Jesus of Nazareth gathers his disciples. The air is warm, filled with the scent of freshly baked bread and the tang of wine, as the soft glow of oil lamps casts a golden light across their faces. Jesus sits among them, his presence gentle, his words heavy with meaning. He lifts a simple chalice, its surface plain but sacred, and speaks of his blood, shed for all, as he passes the cup, marking this moment, the Last Supper, as one of eternal significance. This cup, shared among the disciples, is the first whisper of the Holy Grail's legend. Early Christian writings, like the apocryphal Gospel of Nicodemus, suggest that this same chalice was later used by Joseph of Arimathea, a follower of Jesus, to collect drops of Christ's blood during the crucifixion, transforming it into a relic of divine power. As the night deepens in Jerusalem, the stars above shine like scattered pearls, and the city grows quiet. The weight of this sacred moment lingers, a moment that will echo through the centuries, becoming the foundation of a mystery that still captivates us today. Now, let time drift forward, like a soft breeze carrying us through the centuries, to a new era, a new land, where the legend of the Holy Grail begins to take root. We've arrived in the Middle Ages, the 12th century, in Europe, a land of rolling hills and ancient forests, where the air smells of damp earth and the horizon is dotted with villages, their thatched roofs glowing in the soft light of dawn. In this era, Christianity weaves through every part of life, like a golden thread binding communities together in prayer, hope, and devotion. Picture a small village, its stone church at the center, a simple building with a wooden cross atop its roof. The villagers gather here, their faces weathered from toil, their voices rising in hymns as the morning mist clings to the fields, a sound that fills the air with a sense of sacred calm. In this time, stories of the Holy Grail begin to spread, rooted in earlier Christian traditions, but now blossoming into something new, something magical. The Grail is no longer just a cup from the Last Supper. It becomes a relic of legend, a chalice said to hold miraculous powers, a vessel that promises eternal life and divine grace to those who are pure of heart. These tales find their way into the courts of kings and the halls of knights, where the legend of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table begins to take shape. In the medieval text Perceval, or the story of the Grail by Chrétien de Troyes, written around 1180, the Grail first appears as a mystical object, carried in a procession by a maiden, glowing with a light that fills the room with wonder. This story, though unfinished, sparks a wave of Grail legends, weaving the cup into the fabric of medieval imagination, a symbol of purity and divine favor that calls to the brave and the faithful. Let's linger in this medieval world, where the Holy Grail becomes not just a relic, but a dream, a vision, a promise whispered in the halls of Camelot and written in the ancient manuscripts of monks. Picture a grand castle, its stone walls rising high, its towers capped with red banners that flutter in the wind, a sight that evokes the grandeur of a forgotten age. This is Camelot, the legendary court of King Arthur, where knights in shining armor gather to hear tales of a sacred quest, a mission to find the Holy Grail, a cup that holds the promise of eternal life, a cup that only the pure of heart can behold. Inside the castle, a great hall glows with the light of a roaring fire, the flames crackling softly, casting a warm golden hue across the wooden beams. The knights sit at the round table, their faces solemn, their hands resting on the hilts of their swords, as Arthur speaks, his voice steady and calm, like a river flowing through a quiet valley. He tells of a cup, a chalice, the Holy Grail, a relic of Christ, a vessel of grace, hidden somewhere in the world, waiting for those who seek with hearts open and spirits pure. The firelight dances on their armor, a sight that evokes a sense of timeless honor, a sight that calms the mind as you imagine this scene unfolding. Beyond the castle, in quiet monasteries, monks in simple brown robes work by candlelight, their scriptoriums filled with the scent of ink and the rustle of parchment as they copy ancient texts. One such text, the Vulgate cycle from the 13th century, expands the Grail legend, describing it as a holy vessel brought to Britain by Joseph of Arimathea's descendants, guarded by a mysterious figure known as the Fisher King, a wounded ruler whose lands suffer until a pure knight can heal him with the Grail's power. The monks chant, their voices soft, rising and falling like waves on a calm sea, a sound that fills the air with tranquility as they preserve these sacred stories. In villages across Europe, by the glow of hearths, the legend spreads from one generation to the next. Picture a family gathered in their home, the firelight casting a warm glow on their faces as a grandmother tells the tale, her voice gentle, her hands knitting as she speaks of a cup that could heal, that could bring peace, that could bring eternal life. The children listen, their blankets pulled close, their eyes growing heavy as they imagine knights on horseback, riding through misty forests in search of a treasure that lives in their dreams, a treasure that lives in this story, as it unfolds for you now, in the stillness of the night. The Grail, in these medieval tales, becomes a bridge between the earthly and the divine, a reminder of the Last Supper, of a night when bread was broken and wine was shared, a night of unity, a night of love, a night that echoes through time, bringing a sense of calm, a sense of peace, as you listen, as you let the story guide you into a tranquil state, preparing you for the rest that awaits. Let's step deeper into the medieval world, where the legend of the Holy Grail takes root, its origins stretching back to the earliest days of Christianity, a tale that weaves through history with a quiet, sacred power. Picture a small, stone chapel in Jerusalem, its walls rough but sturdy, the air warm with the scent of olive oil from flickering lamps. It's the 1st century, and the memory of Jesus' life and sacrifice is still fresh, a flame burning brightly in the hearts of his followers. In this chapel, a man named Joseph of Arimathea kneels, his cloak dusty from the journey, his hands trembling with reverence as he holds a simple chalice, the cup used by Jesus at the Last Supper, a cup that some believe became the Holy Grail. Early Christian texts, like the apocryphal Acts of Pilate from the 4th century, tell us that Joseph, a secret disciple of Jesus, took this chalice to the crucifixion, using it to collect drops of Christ's blood as he hung on the cross, a sacred act that transformed the cup into a relic of divine significance. The air around Golgotha is heavy, the sky darkened as if in mourning, but Joseph's faith remains steadfast, a quiet strength that echoes through time, a strength you can sense as you imagine this moment, as the story unfolds with a gentle, calming rhythm. The legend of Joseph continues as later medieval texts like the 13th century Histoire del Saint Graal recount how he carried the Grail far from Jerusalem, journeying across the sea to the distant shores of Britain, to a place called Glastonbury. There, in a misty valley where the air smells of damp earth and the sound of a nearby spring ripples softly, Joseph is said to have hidden the Grail, marking the spot by planting his staff, which miraculously grew into the Glastonbury thorn. A tree that blooms even in winter, a symbol of the Grail's enduring presence, a symbol that glows with a quiet, golden light in the imagination. In these early Christian communities, the Grail was seen as a vessel of miracles, a cup that could heal the sick, bring abundance to barren lands, and offer eternal life to those who drank from it. Imagine a small gathering of believers in a wooden church, their voices soft as they share stories of the Grail, their faces illuminated by the faint glow of candlelight, their prayers rising like a gentle melody, filling the space with a sense of sacred calm. These stories, passed down through generations, laid the foundation for the Grail's legend, a foundation that would grow into a tapestry of tales, weaving through the centuries, a tapestry that unfolds now, as you listen, as you let the story guide you into a tranquil state. The Grail, in these early traditions, was not just a physical object but a symbol of Christ's love, a reminder of the Last Supper, where bread and wine became a covenant of grace, a moment of unity that resonates through time, a moment that brings a quiet peace to your heart as you imagine this scene, as the story continues to unfold, preparing you for the restful journey ahead. Let's move forward into the heart of the Middle Ages, where the legend of the Holy Grail becomes a beacon for knights and dreamers, its mystery igniting quests that would echo through history. Picture a vast forest, its ancient trees stretching toward the sky, their branches swaying in a gentle breeze, the air filled with the scent of pine and the distant call of a nightingale, a melody that weaves through the twilight, creating a sense of calm as you imagine this scene. In the 12th century, the Grail emerges as a central figure in medieval literature, particularly in the tales of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. The earliest known Grail story, Perceval or the Story of the Grail by Chrétien de Troyes, describes a young knight named Perceval who stumbles upon a mysterious castle, the Grail Castle, ruled by the Fisher King, a wounded monarch whose lands suffer until the Grail can heal him. Imagine Perceval riding through a misty valley, the sound of his horse's hoofs soft on the forest floor, as he approaches a stone castle, its walls glowing faintly in the moonlight, a sight that evokes wonder, a sight that calms the mind as you envision this moment. Inside the castle, Perceval witnesses a strange procession. A maiden carries a shining vessel, the Grail, which glows with a radiant light, filling the hall with a sense of divine presence. The Fisher King, seated on a throne, watches in silence, his face etched with pain, waiting for a question that will heal him. A question Perceval fails to ask, leaving the mystery unresolved. This tale, though unfinished, sparks a wave of Grail legends, each adding new layers to the story. A story that unfolds with a gentle rhythm, inviting you to imagine, to reflect, to find peace in its mystery. By the 13th century, the Vulgate cycle expands the legend, linking the Grail to the Knights Templar, a secretive order of warrior monks often associated with holy relics. Picture a Templar knight in a hidden chapel, his white cloak adorned with a red cross, kneeling before an altar where the Grail is said to rest. The air thick with the scent of incense, the walls painted with golden stars, a scene that radiates a quiet reverence, a scene that calms as you envision this moment unfolding in the stillness of the night. The Grail, in these medieval tales, becomes a symbol of purity and divine favor, a cup that only the worthiest can find, a quest that tests the heart, a quest that resonates with a timeless longing, a longing you can sense as you listen, as the story guides you into a tranquil state, preparing you for the restful journey ahead. As the legend of the Holy Grail grows, so too do the questions that surround it. questions that weave through the medieval world and beyond, creating a tapestry of mystery and debate. Picture a scholar in a candlelit chamber, his desk covered with scrolls, the air filled with the scent of ink and parchment as he writes, his quill moving slowly across the page, his voice a soft murmur as he ponders the true nature of the Grail, a pondering that unfolds with a gentle rhythm, a rhythm that calms as you listen. In the Middle Ages, some saw the Grail as a literal cup, the chalice of the Last Supper, hidden by Joseph of Arimathea or guarded by the Knights Templar, waiting to be found by a pure knight. Others, like the Cistercian monks who contributed to the quest of the Holy Grail in the 13th century, interpreted the Grail as a spiritual symbol, a metaphor for the presence of Christ, a vessel of divine grace that could only be attained through purity of heart and soul. This interpretation turned the Grail quest into a journey of the spirit, a search not for a physical object but for a deeper connection to God, a search that resonates with a quiet beauty, a beauty that calms as you envision this moment. The Grail's dual nature, physical relic or spiritual symbol, sparked debates among medieval theologians and writers. Some, like the poet Wolfram von Eschenbach in his work Percival, reimagined the Grail not as a cup but as a stone, the lapsid exilis, a magical object that provided nourishment and eternal youth, a concept possibly inspired by Islamic and alchemical traditions, adding yet another layer of mystery to the legend. Imagine a monk in a quiet monastery, his brown robe brushing the stone floor, as he reads Eschenbach's words by candlelight, the flame casting a warm glow across his face, a glow that evokes a sense of wonder, a glow that calms as you listen to this unfolding tale. These debates, though centuries old, reflect the Grail's enduring mystery, a mystery that invites reflection, a mystery that soothes as you envision this scene, as the scholar's quill moves, as the monk's prayers rise, filling the air with a sense of sacred calm, a calm that prepares you for the restful journey ahead. As the story continues to weave its gentle magic through the night, the mystery of the Holy Grail endures, a puzzle that refuses to be solved, a dream that continues to captivate, even as the centuries pass, a dream that unfolds with a gentle rhythm, a rhythm that calms as you listen. Picture a rugged landscape, the hills of Glastonbury in England, where ancient ruins stand like sentinels, their stones covered in moss, whispering secrets of the past. Legend tells us that the Grail remains hidden here, beneath the Glastonbury Tor, a hill that rises above the misty valley, a place of mystery, a place where the air is cool, and the sound of a distant stream ripples softly, creating a sense of tranquility as you imagine this scene. Other tales point to faraway lands, to cathedrals and hidden chapels where the Grail might rest. In Valencia, Spain, the Santo Cáliz, a stone chalice adorned with gold and jewels, is venerated as the true Grail, a relic said to have been brought to Spain by Saint Peter in the 1st century, later protected by the Knights Templar during the Moorish invasions of the 8th century. Imagine a cathedral in Valencia, its arches soaring, the air filled with the scent of incense as pilgrims gather, their footsteps soft on the marble floor, their voices hushed as they pray before the chalice. A scene that radiates reverence, a scene that calms as you envision this moment. Yet, the Grail remains elusive, its true nature debated by scholars and believers alike. Some see it as a physical relic, a cup that holds the power of miracles, while others view it as a spiritual ideal, a symbol of the divine presence that lives within each of us, a symbol that invites us to seek, to reflect, to find peace in the journey. In the 19th century, the French poet Robert de Boron linked the Grail to the concept of the Sangreal, a term that could mean both Holy Grail and royal blood, sparking theories that the Grail might represent Christ's bloodline, a theory popularized in modern times by works like the Da Vinci Code. This ongoing mystery, with its layers of history and legend, continues to inspire, a mystery that unfolds with a gentle rhythm, a rhythm that calms as you listen, as you imagine the misty hills of Glastonbury, the cathedral in Valencia, the quiet prayers of pilgrims, a rhythm that prepares you for the restful journey ahead. As the story continues to weave its gentle magic through the night, let's continue our exploration of the Holy Grail, following its legend as it travels through time. A tale that unfolds like a gentle stream, winding its way through history with a quiet grace. We're stepping back to the earliest days after Christ's crucifixion, when the Grail story first began to take shape in the hearts of the faithful. A story that carries a serene beauty, a beauty you can feel as you listen. Imagine a misty valley in Glastonbury, a sacred place in ancient Britain, where the air is cool and the scent of wildflowers mingles with the damp earth, as the sun rises, casting a soft golden light across the rolling hills. According to legend, it was here that Joseph of Arimathea, a follower of Jesus, brought the Holy Grail after the crucifixion, a cup that had held the wine of the Last Supper, a cup that had caught the blood of Christ, a relic of divine significance. Joseph, his cloak dusty from the long journey, kneels by a spring, the water clear and bubbling over smooth stones, as he hides the Grail in a secret place, a place where the grass is soft and the sound of the spring ripples gently, creating a sense of calm as you imagine this scene. The Historia Brittonum, a 9th century text, tells us that Joseph planted his staff in the ground at Glastonbury, and it miraculously grew into the Glastonbury thorn, a tree that blooms even in winter, a symbol of the Grail's enduring presence. In this valley, early Christian monks built a small monastery, their voices rising in soft chants as they prayed, their prayers blending with the rustle of leaves in the wind, a sound that fills the air with a sacred tranquility, a tranquility you can feel as you envision this moment unfolding in the stillness of history. These monks shared stories of the Grail, stories that were later recorded in medieval texts like the Pearl's Vows from the 13th century, which describes the Grail as a vessel of abundance, providing food and drink to the faithful, a miracle that echoed Christ's feeding of the multitudes. Imagine a monk in a simple wooden church, his brown robe brushing the floor, as he tells this tale to a small gathering, their faces illuminated by the faint glow of candlelight, their prayers rising like a gentle melody, filling the space with a sense of sacred calm, a calm that prepares you for the restful journey ahead as the story continues to unfold. The Grail, in these early legends, was a bridge between the earthly and the divine, a reminder of Christ's sacrifice, a symbol of love and grace that carried the faithful through the centuries, a symbol that resonates with a quiet beauty, a beauty you can feel as you listen, as the story weaves its gentle magic through the night. Let's move forward to the height of the Middle Ages, where the legend of the Holy Grail becomes a call to adventure, a sacred quest that ignites the hearts of knights and believers across Europe, a tale that unfolds with a serene grace, a grace you can feel as you listen. Picture a stone castle in the heart of France, its walls weathered by time, its towers capped with red banners that flutter in the breeze, creating a sense of timeless honor as the sun sets, casting a soft amber glow across the landscape. In this castle, knights gather in a great hall, their armor polished but marked by the scars of battle, their faces solemn as they listen to their king, King Arthur, whose voice flows like a steady river through the hall. He speaks of a sacred mission, a quest to find the Holy Grail, a cup that promises eternal life and divine grace, a cup that only the pure of heart can behold, a mission that fills the hall with a sense of purpose, a purpose you can sense as you imagine this scene unfolding in the stillness of history. The Vulgate Cycle, a 13th century series of texts, tells us of knights like Sir Lancelot, Sir Percival, and Sir Galahad, who set out to find the Grail, their journeys taking them through enchanted forests and rugged mountains. Imagine Sir Percival riding through a misty forest, the sound of his horse's hooves soft on the forest floor, the air filled with the scent of pine and the distant call of a nightingale, a scene that evokes a sense of wonder, a scene that calms as you envision this moment. Percival arrives at the Grail Castle, ruled by the Fisher King, a wounded monarch whose lands suffer until a pure knight can heal him with the Grail's power, a tale of redemption that resonates with a quiet beauty. Meanwhile, the Knights Templar, a secretive order of warrior monks, are often linked to the Grail in medieval legend. The 14th century Chronicle of Moria hints that the Templars may have guarded the Grail during their time in the Holy Land, protecting it in hidden chapels where the air was thick with the scent of incense and the walls were painted with golden stars. Imagine a Templar knight kneeling in such a chapel, his white cloak adorned with a red cross, his voice a soft chant as he prays, guarding a secret that may never be known, a secret that radiates a quiet reverence, a reverence you can feel as you listen to this unfolding tale. Let's step forward into the modern era, where the search for the Holy Grail continues, not with swords but with the tools of scholarship and imagination. A search that unfolds with a gentle rhythm, a rhythm you can feel as you listen. Picture the Cathedral of Valencia in Spain, its stone walls rising high, its arches soaring, as the faint glow of stained glass paints the marble floor in hues of red, blue, and gold, creating a sense of sacred calm as you imagine this scene. In this cathedral, a chalice rests, the Santo Cáliz, a stone cup adorned with gold and jewels, venerated as the true Grail by many. Historical records, like those from the 14th century Libro de los Hechos, suggest this cup was brought to Spain by St. Peter in the 1st century, later protected by the Knights Templar during the Moorish invasions. Pilgrims gather here, their footsteps soft on the marble floor, their voices hushed as they pray before the chalice, the air filled with the scent of incense. A scene that radiates reverence, a scene that calms as you envision this moment unfolding in the stillness of history. Elsewhere, in Glastonbury, England, the search continues among the ruins of ancient abbeys, their stones covered in moss, whispering secrets of the past. The 12th century historian William of Malmesbury wrote of Glastonbury as a sacred site, possibly the resting place of the Grail, hidden beneath the Glastonbury Tor, a hill that rises above the misty valley. Imagine an archaeologist, his hands gentle as he brushes away the dirt, the air cool with the scent of earth and stone. As the sun sets behind the hills, casting a soft pink glow across the ruins, a glow that evokes a sense of wonder, a glow that calms as you listen to this unfolding tale. Modern theories also abound, with some scholars, like those in the 1982 book Holy Blood, Holy Grail by Michael Bygent, suggesting the Grail might be a metaphor for Christ's bloodline, a theory popularized by the Da Vinci Code. This idea, though controversial, adds another layer to the Grail's mystery, a mystery that unfolds with a gentle rhythm, a rhythm you can feel as you imagine the misty hills of Glastonbury, the cathedral in Valencia, the quiet prayers of pilgrims, a rhythm that prepares you for the restful journey ahead as the story continues to weave its gentle magic. The Holy Grail's legend has left a lasting mark on our world, inspiring not just knights and monks but artists, writers, and dreamers across the centuries. A legacy that unfolds with a serene grace, a grace you can feel as you listen. Picture a quiet bookstore in a small American town, its shelves lined with books, the air warm with the scent of paper and ink as a reader sits in a soft chair, the evening light fading through the window, casting a golden glow on the pages, creating a sense of calm as you envision this scene. In this bookstore, a book catches the eye, perhaps the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, a modern novel that reimagines the Grail as a symbol of Christ's bloodline, sparking debates and fascination across the world. The reader turns the pages, her breath steady, her mind drifting as she imagines knights, secrets, and a cup that glows with a faint golden light, a light that evokes a sense of wonder, a light that calms as you listen to this unfolding tale. This novel, published in 2003, became a global phenomenon, selling over 80 million copies and inspiring films, documentaries, and discussions, bringing the Grail's mystery into the modern age. Artists, too, have been captivated by the Grail, their works capturing its ethereal beauty across the centuries. In the 19th century, the pre-Raphaelite painter Dante Gabriel Rossetti created the Damsel of the Sanct Grail, depicting a maiden holding the Grail, her face serene, the cup glowing with a soft radiance, a painting that hangs in galleries, a painting that evokes a sense of reverence, a reverence you can feel as you imagine this scene. In music, Richard Wagner's 1882 opera Parsifal reimagines the Grail as a source of spiritual renewal, its notes echoing through concert halls, filling the air with a sense of sacred calm, a calm that resonates as you listen. The Grail's influence extends to modern cinema, with films like Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade in 1989 portraying the Grail as a cup of healing, hidden in a desert canyon, a tale that blends adventure with spirituality, captivating audiences worldwide. Imagine a family gathered in their living room, the glow of the television screen casting a soft light, as they watch this story unfold, their minds drifting to dreams of knights and sacred relics, dreams that calm as you envision this moment, as the story prepares you for the restful journey ahead. The Holy Grail, through its cultural impact, continues to inspire, a legend that bridges the past and present, a symbol of hope, of mystery, of peace, a symbol that unfolds with a gentle rhythm, a rhythm you can feel as you listen, as the story guides you into a tranquil state, preparing you for the rest that awaits. Let's bring the story of the Holy Grail into the present day, a time when this ancient legend continues to resonate, particularly among American Christians, where faith remains a cornerstone of life, a source of inspiration, a source of calm. Picture a small church in a quiet American town, perhaps in the rolling hills of Virginia, on a crisp Sunday morning. The air smells of autumn leaves, and the sound of church bells echoes across the fields, calling families to gather, their voices rising in hymns, filling the space with a sense of sacred peace, a peace you can imagine as you listen to this unfolding tale. In modern Christianity, the Holy Grail holds a symbolic place, a reminder of the Last Supper, where Jesus shared bread and wine with his disciples, a moment of unity and love that continues to define the faith. During Easter services, pastors across the U.S., from the suburbs of Chicago to the coastal towns of Oregon, share the story of the Grail, their voices warm and gentle, as they speak of a cup that represents Christ's sacrifice and the hope of the resurrection, a hope that resonates deeply with their congregations, a hope that brings a quiet calm as you envision this scene. In 2015, the Cathedral of Valencia, home to the Santo Cáliz, hosted a special exhibition of the chalice, drawing thousands of American pilgrims who traveled to Spain to see what many believe is the true Grail, a relic carbon dated to the 1st century by the University of Granada in 2014. Imagine these pilgrims standing in the cathedral, their footsteps soft on the marble floor, the air filled with the scent of incense as they gaze at the chalice, its stone surface adorned with gold, a relic that whispers of history, a relic that brings a sense of reverence, a reverence you can feel as you listen to this unfolding tale. The Grail also inspires modern Christian movements, like the Grail movement founded in the 20th century by Oscar Ernst Bernhard, which views the Grail as a spiritual ideal, a symbol of divine truth and enlightenment, encouraging believers to seek a deeper connection with God. In Bible study groups across America, from Houston to Boston, the Grail becomes a topic of reflection, a chance to explore the mysteries of their faith, a chance to connect with the past, filling the room with a sense of wonder, a wonder that calms as you imagine this scene unfolding in the stillness of the present. The Grail, in these modern moments, becomes a bridge between history and faith, a reminder that the search for the divine is a timeless journey, a journey that brings a quiet peace to your heart as you listen, as the story prepares you for the restful journey ahead, a journey into the calm embrace of the night. Let's take a moment to reflect on what the Holy Grail means for us today, not just for those who have sought it, dreamed of it, or prayed for it, but for us here now as we listen to this gentle tale. The Grail, with its ancient mystery, is more than a relic, more than a legend. It's a symbol of the love, the sacrifice, and the hope that lies at the heart of Christianity, a symbol that carries a timeless beauty, a beauty you can feel as you listen to this unfolding story. For many, the Grail is a testament to the Last Supper, a physical echo of the moment when Jesus shared wine with his disciples, a moment of unity, a moment of love, a moment that resonates through history, a moment you can sense as you imagine that upper room, the air warm with the scent of bread, the glow of oil lamps casting a golden light across their faces, a light that brings a quiet calm to your heart. The Grail speaks of a love that endured through suffering, through death, a love that triumphed in the resurrection, a love that offers peace, a peace you can feel as you listen to this unfolding tale. For others, the Grail is a mystery, a puzzle, a dream that invites us to wonder, to reflect, to ask questions without needing all the answers, a mystery that reminds us that faith is about trust, hope, and peace, even in the face of the unknown, even in the face of doubt. In medieval legend, the Grail was often sought by knights like Sir Galahad, who, according to the quest of the Holy Grail, achieved the vision of the Grail through his purity, seeing it as a radiant light, a vision that filled him with awe, a vision that resonates with a quiet beauty, a beauty you can feel as you imagine this moment. The Grail also reminds us of the power of stories, stories that connect us to the past, to each other, to the divine, stories that have been told for centuries, From the monasteries of Glastonbury to the churches of America, stories that bring us together, stories that bring a quiet calm as you envision a family gathered at Easter. Their voices soft as they share the tale of the Grail, their hearts filled with hope, a hope that prepares you for the restful journey ahead as the story continues to unfold. Whether you see the Grail as a cup, a symbol, or a legend, it invites us to pause, to reflect, to find peace in the mystery, in the story, in the love that it represents, a peace that fills your heart as you listen, as the story guides you into a tranquil state, preparing you for the rest that awaits in the stillness of the night. As the story of the Holy Grail begins to fade into the night, let's take these final moments to let its mystery, its beauty, and its peace guide us into a deep and restful sleep, a sleep that awaits you with open arms, a sleep that is yours to embrace. Picture a quiet meadow beside a medieval castle, the grass soft beneath your feet, the air cool with the scent of wildflowers and pine. As the moon rises, casting a silvery glow across the landscape, a glow that creates a sense of calm, a glow that prepares you for rest. Imagine the Grail, glowing faintly with a golden light, resting in a hidden chapel within the castle, its walls adorned with ancient tapestries, the air filled with the scent of beeswax from flickering candles, their flames casting a warm, gentle light that dances across the stone. A light that soothes, a light that calms, a light that invites you to let go, to relax, to find peace. The sound of a distant harp plays softly, its notes weaving through the night like a lullaby, blending with the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze. A melody that fills the air with a sense of tranquility, a melody that fills your heart with calm as you listen. Feel the softness of the meadow beneath you as you lie down, the grass cradling you like a tender embrace, the moon's light washing over you like a gentle wave, washing away the worries of the day, the thoughts of the mind, leaving only peace, only rest, only calm. The air is cool, the scent of wildflowers lingering, a scent that soothes, a scent that calms, as the sound of the harp fades, replaced by the faint, rhythmic lapping of a nearby stream, a sound that flows through you, guiding you deeper into a state of rest, a state of calm, a state where sleep awaits. Let the story of the Holy Grail become a soft, golden glow in your mind, a glow that surrounds you, that comforts you, that holds you in a place of peace, a place where the worries of the day, the questions of the mind, all fade like the last rays of sunlight, leaving only the stillness of the night, the stillness of rest, the stillness of sleep, a sleep that is yours, a sleep that is deep, a sleep that is filled with the sweetest dreams, dreams of castles, of knights, of a cup that glows with a light of love, a light of grace, a light that guides you into the calm embrace of the night. As you lie there, feel your body relax completely, your breathing slow and steady, your mind at ease, your heart at peace, as the meadow fades, as the castle fades, as the story fades into a gentle darkness, a darkness that wraps around you like a warm blanket, a darkness that carries you into a deep and restful sleep, a sleep where you are held in the light of faith, in the warmth of love, in the stillness of peace. Good night, sweet dreams. Sleep well. As our journey through the secrets of the Holy Grail comes to its end, I want to thank you for joining me on this gentle exploration through history, faith, and the timeless allure of a legend that has captivated hearts for centuries. This story, with its serene landscapes and sacred moments, has woven a tapestry of peace, inviting you into a tranquil space where the past whispers softly, where the mystery of the Grail glows with a quiet light, a light that has guided us from ancient Jerusalem to the modern day, a light that now prepares you for a restful night's sleep. The Grail, in its many forms, has been a symbol of hope across the ages, from the chalice of the Last Supper to the mystical vision sought by knights like Sir Galahad, who, in medieval legend, saw the Grail as a radiant light, a vision that healed the Fisher King's wounded lands, restoring life and abundance. This tale of redemption, of grace, echoes the deeper meaning of the Grail, a reminder of Christ's love, a love that endures, a love that brings a gentle calm to your heart as you imagine this moment. As the story fades into the night, becoming a soft, golden glow that surrounds you, comforts you, and holds you in a peaceful embrace, preparing you for the rest that awaits. As you lie there, with your body relaxed, your breathing steady, and your mind at ease, let the echoes of this ancient tale, the Grail, the knights, the sacred quest, blend into a quiet melody, a melody that carries you into a state of deep calm, a state where sleep beckons, a state filled with the warmth of faith, the light of hope, and the stillness of love, guiding you into the sweetest dreams. Before we say goodnight, I'd like to invite you to share in this journey just a little more, in a way that feels as gentle as this story, as this moment of peace. If the tale of the Holy Grail has brought you calm, helped you relax, and guided you toward a restful state, I'd love for you to leave a comment, sharing another Christian history mystery you'd like to explore in a future story, a story that can soothe, comfort, and guide you into rest, just as this one has. And if you'd like to hear more calming tales, more journeys through history, faith, and mystery, please consider subscribing and tapping the bell, so you'll be notified when a new story is ready to lull you into a peaceful night. A night just like this. A night filled with tranquility, with rest, with dreams. As you prepare to embrace the gentle slumber that awaits you now. Now, let's step into the final moments of this peaceful journey. A journey that has carried us through history, mystery, faith, and now into the tender embrace of sleep. A sleep that is yours, deep, restful, and filled with the sweetest dreams. Imagine yourself lying in a soft, warm bed, the covers pulled up, the room dark, the air cool, with the only sound being the gentle rhythm of your own breath, flowing in and out, a rhythm that matches the faint, distant toll of a cathedral bell, a sound that fades as the night deepens, as your body relaxes, as your mind quiets, as your heart fills with peace. Picture a serene meadow beside a medieval castle, the grass soft beneath you, the air filled with the scent of wildflowers and pine. As the moon rises, casting a silvery glow across the landscape, a glow that creates a sense of calm, a glow that prepares you for rest. The sound of a nearby stream ripples softly, blending with the faint rustle of leaves in the breeze. A melody that soothes, a melody that calms, guiding you into a state of deep tranquility, a state where sleep awaits. Feel the softness of the meadow cradling you, the moonlight washing over you, washing away the worries of the day, leaving only peace, only rest, only calm. A calm that wraps around you like a warm blanket on a cool night. A calm that carries you like a gentle wave on a calm sea. A calm that holds you like a loving embrace from the ages, from the faithful, from the divine. A calm that is yours. A calm that is deep. A calm that is filled with the peace of this ancient tale. Good night, sweet dreams, sleep well.